Hello everybody and welcome back to new Eriador. Look what we have found. There's a chunk error right in our base. We're floating. I'm here with Manrofor because he and Brett have been digging out this hole that you can see underneath us. I told you in the last episode that we were hiring them to dig a big hole in the base, and this is what it looks like. It is huge. I think that it took you about 2 or 3 hours to dig this out, so the 16 diamonds that I spent were well invested, I think. And yeah, with this we can then start to build a mob farm pretty soon. I don't know if it's still the case, but I was in there. Did I get the skull? No, I didn't, so I need to check where it went, because I don't want to lose it. Oh, Manro, did you get the skull?
Yeah, I dropped it down.
Here's Chrysias. Thanks. Inside here, there is a ravine, and it was always extremely hostile in there. You can't imagine. You really blocked it off with obsidian?
Sorry.
Oh man, I was in there and they were saying, I was saying like, please don't close it off because I'm still in here, and they were like, hey, let's close it off with obsidian. Yeah, here you can already see that there's a lot of mobs here, so we'll light this up properly and then build a mob farm right next to it in the hole that you can see. Also, what I just noticed, check this out. Optifine is out and so dynamic lighting is back. Yay, that's crazy. We do have our special elytras thanks to the resource pack that Jeffy did, the new Eriador elytras. So each and every one of us has their own elytra. And also we do have the cool looking sky with the clouds and the nice stars, which is now making this feel a lot more realistic, I could say, but it's Minecraft, so I don't know how you would call that. So in the last episode we have been working on a storage system, and that's where we want to continue today, because we want to get this thing sorted out, pun intended. So we are working over here right now to get the voids a little bit more in place, and over here to get the floor in place, so this is not quite as far as the other side, but we are getting there. And today we want to work on the filters. And for the filters, what we do need is a bunch of hoppers. We already, whoops, I'm wasting rockets. We already have quite a lot of iron, and a moment ago, Manrofor, Brett and I were cutting down some trees, so we also have a bunch of wood, so we should be able to create all the hoppers we actually need for this. But I think that I will hop off camera to set up the first segment for the sorting system, because then I know it's in the right spot. And then from there we'll explain how it's going to work. One of the filter segments is now in place, and I want to explain to you how this is all working. So I told you already how the items are moving back and forth over some ice lines here, and then there are some filters, and I want to explain the bottom part first and then go to the top and do that. So down here what you can see is a comparator putting the signal into redstone, into more redstone down here. And then there's one above there, so 3 redstone dust. So once this reaches a signal strength of 3, this torch will turn off, and once it turns off, this hopper is unlocked, and this is how the filter works. And this only works if there's multiple filters next to each other. So a single one like this wouldn't work, because the redstone is facing right into the hopper there, and so it would block it as well. But if there's one redstone next to it, it won't face into the hopper again, and then we can have that filtering items. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 filters on each side, and all of those are putting the items always into a middle hopper, and this is the one that is collecting from several filters. Right now this one is collecting from 2 filters, but if we have another hopper connected to this hopper, we would have 4 filters grouped up, 5 filters, 6 filters, whatever we need, and then we can hook it up to the dispensers down here, where the items will get shot into the water stream, and then go down here into the item merger array, and then into the item elevators in this room, and then into the water stream, into the chests. So for example, for this one down here, we would have to have 32 filters grouped together like this, because we have 16 wool blocks and 16 carpets, and that then would form a group, would go into one of those dispensers or droppers down there and put the items into the water stream. Up here you can see that the ice pass is coming from here. It would hit to ender chest, which we've got then over here, and with the ender chest it will be aligned in a way that the item is still on the ice, so it moves fairly quickly, but the hopper here can detect that there's an item and suck it up. So it will move with ice speed but can be picked up by the hoppers. And then here in the center we'll have a maintenance kind of walkway, and this will allow us to go and check all the filters. And also it is made out of those furnaces, because if a hopper has nothing with an inventory above it, it will check if it can pick up an item, like those two here. But those three down here don't need to pick up items, so they should have something with an inventory above them to reduce lag on the server. So this one is just having the hopper above, this one is having a furnace above, and this one a hopper again, and like that we're reducing even some lag and having a maintenance walkway. So now, as you can imagine, we need quite a lot of those, and we were just picturing it's about 64 of the filters in one row here, so 4 times 64 filters, that is quite a lot. And so we prepared the materials needed for this. In here we've got all the blocks, redstone torches, packed ice, stained glass and furnaces just for this side. The other side is a whole different story. We don't have enough materials yet to do that. We'll have to go on a big grind. And then in here, let me quickly grab myself a crafting table, because we've got a few of those. We do have the items that we need for comparators, and since we do have the fancy crafting inventory, we can just break the chests and now do it like this. 2, 3 and 4 stacks. Oh, that's 4 stacks of comparators, which I can put into here. And then in this chest here, I've got a lot of wood and a lot of iron, and you can imagine we need quite a lot of hoppers. So the iron farm that we built a few episodes ago, that is what it's good for. We need that. We can't buy that much iron from Groover. We would be super poor quite quickly. So let me quickly craft all the hoppers. And there we go. That is now, I think, 10 stacks of hoppers it should be, because that is what I think we will need. Yeah, 10 stacks of hoppers. I don't know if I ever had that many hoppers, but with that we can now start building this, and I think I will try to put a camera, and if the time-lapse looks good, you will see a time-lapse of us building this room now. It looks like we have created a mob farm. We definitely need to take care of lighting. We need to be super careful with creepers. I quickly want to shoot the skeleton there. Oh, the items might end up in the filters now, which is a pain. So taking care of the light in here will be a main priority now. But before we do that, I just quickly wanted to address something else, which is the filters. For the filters, we need an item to fill those last 4 slots. And how many items we need to put in there, and yeah, how this is then working, I quickly want to test out here, and I thought I'd bring you with me. So this is the one that needs the filter items, and we need to make sure that we don't get a sickness strength of 4, otherwise we might unlock, like over here, another redstone torch. So therefore I quickly want to block the hopper there, so we can test out if this is working. Oh, that looks already quite good. So with just 4 items in there, we can already put a whole stack into it, and this would then empty out to a certain point, which we can check now, because now the items should be flowing, because this is unlocked, so it's flowing over. And we'll leave a threshold in here, which then is able to pick up item of this type. So if a white concrete item would go over this hopper, then it would get into this one here. And as you can see, 18 are left in here. So what we can do is just rename some roses or poppies into filter, because that is our official filter items. And then we put 4 poppies into each of those filters up there, so they are all preset. And also we'll take care of lighting. Now this will be the best part of the video, because you will be skipping right ahead, and we need to get to work here. It is now about programming those filters. As we said before, we have been putting in filter items, so those roses that are renamed into the last slots, but the first slot needs to be filled with the right items. And for or to do that, we need to figure out what item needs to go in there. So the first filter group here will be connected to this dropper, and to figure out which chest this is, we'll put in an item, and then this will be dispensed. We'll go through, and I'm pretty sure since it's the first one, it will just go straight into the upper elevator, and I think it will be this one here. Ha! I'm right. So this one here is the sea lanterns and prismarine bricks, or prismarine stuff, and we are immediately facing a problem with this, which is that we don't have all the items. We are missing, I think, dark prismarine and the normal prismarine, and so we only can program those 2. But what we can do is take our filter items, which I have been putting into this chest here, poppy filter, and then we would go ahead and put them into here. We'll have our walkway here, so we'll group up this one, and then we'll leave 2 for the ones that we can't program just yet, because we don't have the item. And then we'll make sure that there's a little bit of a gap, so I will just break those, and we need to block off the water stream again, otherwise we get the items into the system, which is not good. So yeah, and those we can then fill up with some concrete, I guess. I think concrete would be the best. Then we need to go down below, and down below we need to take care of connecting it over. So from the redstone chest I will take that stuff, and I hope that I have some chests somewhere around here. So yeah, we can go to here. Then I would break the last hopper in the row. I will pick it up if I can, and replace it this way. Then put a chest down, and then I can just connect it over with some hoppers. And I think we can just, or we have to do it like this, even because there's the slab there. And then on top of this we will put furnaces at a later point, I guess, to reduce some lag again. But now if I take all the items from the chest here, and simulate this. Of course we don't have water yet, but what we do have is the filters. So in theory the items would go through and they would fly around to here, hit the chest, be aligned, and then here we would get the, let's see if this is working. Yes, they went in. The sea lanterns though would go around all the way until they come to this side and would go into this one here. And now, of course they didn't go through. I was about to say now we can see them going through, but they can't because we don't have enough items in here just yet. But once we have the right number in there, we can then see the items coming through right there and going into the chest again. So yeah, fun stuff that we need to do now, getting all the items into the filters and hooking it up to the droppers. But then we are super close to getting this complete, at least for the block side. The item side is a whole different story. We ran into some issues here that we didn't expect to encounter, but still we did, and now we have to solve it. But I think we've got a solution now that might work, it might not. We might overthink this overall, but yeah, let me show you. I just need to go to the other side because this is a little cramped. The issue is that we need to connect those lines here to the right droppers, and we have laid the droppers out in a way that they are always 6 blocks apart, which is kind of the average. But since it's the average, we have gaps in here that are way bigger and we can't connect them as straight as over here. So that two are all good. And then the next chest that we need to connect is this one here. And so this one would have to go to that dropper there and not to this one. And this is the issue, that we then would have to put a hopper line here, and then we have to connect this one to that dropper, and then there's a lot of filters again over here, and this chest would then have to be connected to this dropper. And we don't like this solution, because it's a lot of hoppers that we would have to place, and it looks really stupid. So instead we'll move our droppers here that are putting the items into the water streams to right over here where yeah, I think right here where this hopper is, there will be a dropper putting the items into a water stream, either directly into this water here or into an ice channel, like back here where we do have the blocks on the sides below the droppers. So here, for example, this would go down into a water stream that puts the items around and then puts into the right spot. I hope that this is working, but we'll have to try and see how this is then looking, because we really like the V shape here in the water. And so it's also about aesthetics. It's not only function. If we only want to have function, we could add all the droppers there, but I don't like that either, because of the lag or because of the looks. I don't know, but yeah, we'll change it around and see how this is then looking. We ran out of item filters, so we had to connect some more on both sides, and this meant we have to make this a little bit bigger. And over here we do have our technical room for the farm, for the iron farm, which is kind of cool that those are now kind of connecting. We can add a little bit of a door here. So yeah, let's actually check. Quite some decent iron again for the second side of hoppers. And yeah, let me show you. This is now somewhat half done, I think. So the filters are all kind of laid out where they need to go, and you can see there's some water streams, but let me show you this from the front at first. As I said, there's now the clocks always directly underneath the chest. You can see them all in a line here, and that will be the same on that side. And then over here where it's over the water, it just gets put into a water stream on ice, so it goes into this row. The second one goes into this row here, and then the next one needs to connect over here, and there's still an ice stream that is going just around from this one over to here. And as you can see, there's a crossing here where another water stream is going through to that one, and that's super easy with ice because we can just put down a pressure plate and let it go through. So this one is now going over to there, and then the next one is going over. So there's even 2 crossroads for this ice stream here, the second one here. So this is already kind of working, and we just need to get all the clocks now in place and all the filters set up. but I think that we'll do that in between the episodes, and then next episode we'll start off by testing out this item, this block site I mean, and see if we can already filter all of our blocks as we need to. So I think that this is a good point to end it, because I'm running out of time. I need to edit this and upload it to YouTube so you can see it tomorrow. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this, even though this was super technical and I was talking a lot about technical stuff that we need to do here. So if you enjoyed it, then let me know with a comment, and as always, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and share this video with your friends. And I hope then to see you in the next video. Until then, have a great day.